Shivasade Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah, Hare Krishna, everyone. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 7, Chapter 14. Does anyone remember what we read yesterday?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Narad Muni told us that when you feed prasad to everyone, and then the Paramatma inside you becomes satisfied, and Paramatma is different than us. He's there. And the best service we can do for our forefathers is to chant for them and offer the results to them. And then we also read about like Uttarayan and Dakshanayan. So like the different times that the Shrad or the if the body is given at that time, at what time, at different times the Shrad performed, the rituals of Shrad are performed, and what are the best times to perform that. And on Ekadashi especially, no Shrad, if somebody dies on Ekadashi, then the Shrad should not be done on Ekadashi.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. So we're going to continue. Text 25. Eshu snanam japo homo.
Eshu snanam japo homo.
Vritam deva dvijarchanam.
Vritam deva dvijarchanam.
Pitra deva nirbhutebhyo.
Pitradeva nibhutebhyo.
Yad datam tadhi anashvaram.
Datam tadhi anashwaram.
Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. During these periods of seasonal change, if one bathes in the Ganges, in the Yamuna, or in other sacred place, if one chants, offers sacrifices, or executes vows, or if one worships the Supreme Lord, the Brahmanas, the forefathers, the demigods, and the living entities in general, whatever he gives in charity yields a permanently beneficial result. So these are the auspicious times where he's saying if one does all these activities, pious activities, during this time one gets, then he gets a permanent result, beneficial, very beneficial. Best is to chant regularly, every day, because we don't know when is this time changing, when what is happening. Every day chant. And here, samskar kalo jayaya.
Sanskar kalo jayaya.
Sanskar kalo jayaya.
Apatyasyaatmanastatha.
Apatyasya atmanastatha.
Preta samstha mritahascha.
Preta
Samsthamritahascha.
Karmani abhyudaye nripa.
Karmani
Karmani abhyudaye nripa.
O King Yudhishthir, at the time prescribed for reformatory ritualistic ceremonies for oneself, one's wife, or one's children, or during funeral ceremonies and annual death ceremonies, one must perform the auspicious ceremonies mentioned above in order to flourish in fruitive activities. The Vedas recommend many ritualistic ceremonies to be performed with one's wife, on the birthdays of one's children, or during the funeral ceremonies. And there are also personal reformatory methods like initiation. These must be observed according to time and circumstances and the directions of the Shastra. Bhagavad Gita strongly recommends Gyatva Shastra Vidhanoktam. Everything must be performed as indicated in the Shastras. For Kali Yuga, The Shastras enjoin that Sankirtan Yajna be performed always. Kirtaniya Sada Hari. All the ritualistic ceremonies recommended in the Shastras must be preceded and followed by Sankirtan. This is the recommendation of Srila Jiva Goswami. So here, because Narad Muni is saying that these ritualistic activities should be done at these specific times. So Prabhupada is pointing out that in the Shastras are saying that for Kali Yuga, the Yajna is Sankirtan Yajna. So before doing the rituals, one must have Kirtan. After doing the rituals, also one must have Kirtan. And this is the recommendation of Srila Jiva Goswami. So we can see that for us, the Sankirtan is so important that even if we are doing any rituals, we should have Kirtan there. Atha deshan pravakshyami
Atha deshan pravakshyami
dharmadi shreya avahan
dharmadi shreya avahan
save punya tamo desha
sarve punyatamo desha
satpatram yatra labhyate
satpatram yatra labhyate
bimbam bhagavato yatra
bimbam bhagavato yatra
sarvam etach characharam
sarvam etat characharam
yatra ha brahmana kulam
yatra brahmana kulam
tapo vidyadayan vitam.
tapo vidyadayavitam.
Narad Muni continued, now I shall describe the places where religious performances may be well executed. Any place where a Vaishnava is available is an excellent place for all auspicious activities. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the support of this entire cosmic manifestation with all its moving and non-moving living entities. And the temple where the deity of the Lord is installed is a most sacred place. Furthermore, places where learned Brahmanas observe Vedic principles by means of austerity, education, and mercy are also most auspicious and sacred. In this verse, it is indicated that a Vaishnav temple where the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is worshipped and where Vaishnavas are engaged in the service of the Lord is the best sacred place for performing any religious ceremonies. At the present day, especially in big cities, people live in small apartments and are not able to establish a deity or temple. Under the circumstances, therefore, the centers and temples being established by the expanding Krishna consciousness movement are the best sacred places for performing religious ceremonies. Although people in general are no longer interested in religious ceremonies or deity worship, the Krishna consciousness movement gives everyone the chance to advance in spiritual life by becoming Krishna conscious. So Narad Muni, first he's saying that one must do these rituals. Then he's saying the times when they have to be done. Now he's saying the place where they have to be done. So he's saying they should be done in temple of Lord Krishna, where the devotees are there taking care of the deity. So Prabhupada is saying that the Krishna conscious temples are there, and one can do all the religious ceremonies over there and the temples, ISKCON temples. Okay. Yatra yatra harer archa
Yatra yatra harer archa
sadesha shreya sampadam
sadesha shreyasam padam
yatra ganga dayo nadya
yatra gangadayo nadya
puraneshu cha vishruta.
puraneshu na vishruta.
Auspicious indeed are the places where there is a temple of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, in which he is duly worshipped, and also the places where they flow, the celebrated sacred rivers mentioned in the Puranas, the supplementary Vedic literatures. Anything spiritual done there is certainly very effective. There are many atheists who oppose the worship of the deity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the temple. In this verse, however, it is authoritatively stated that any place where the deity is being worshipped is transcendental. It does not belong to the material world. That's why Prabhupada would say that our centers are all Vaikuntha, our temples are Vaikuntha, because Krishna is worshipped there. Everything in the temple is being done for the service of Krishna. So here that's Narad Muni is also saying, it's transcendental. So it is also said that the forest is in the mode of goodness, and therefore those who want to cultivate spiritual life are advised to go to the forest. Manam gato yadarim ashrayeta. But one should not go to the forest simply to live like a monkey. Monkeys and other ferocious animals also live in the forest. But a person who goes to the forest for spiritual culture must accept the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as shelter. Manam gato yadarim ashrayeta. One should not be satisfied simply to go to the forest. One must take shelter at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this age, therefore, since it is impossible to go to the forest for spiritual culture, one is recommended to live in the temple community as a devotee, regularly worship the deity, follow the regulative principles, and thus make the place like Vaikuntha. The forest may be in goodness, the cities and villages in passion, and the brothels, hotels, and restaurants in ignorance. But when one lives in the temple community, he lives in Vaikuntha. Therefore, it is said here, Shreyasam Padam. It is the best, most auspicious place. So, what is the mode is said for forest?
Goodness.
Goodness. And what about passion? Where is passion?
Cities and villages.
Yeah, cities and villages. And then ignorance.
Brothels, hotels, and restaurants.
Yeah, that's and transcendental.
Temple.
Yeah, temple of Krishna.
Krishna.
Krishna's temple is Vaikuntha, transcendental. Okay. So here Prabhupada is saying that one is advised to go to the forest, right? Vanaprasth. That's why they would say Vana, forest. But now, how long will we survive in a forest, Won't be able to. And then one may go to the forest, but what's the use of going to the forest with being artificially renounced? Monkey renunciation is called artificially renounced, you know. So real renunciation is when we can engage in Krishna's service, use everything in Krishna's service. So in many places throughout the world, we are constructing communities to give shelter to devotees and worship the deity in the temple. The deity cannot be worshipped except by devotees. Temple worshippers who fail to give importance to the devotees are third class. They are Kanishta Adhikaris in the lower stage of spiritual life. As it is said in Srimad Bhagavatam 11:2-47, Archayam eva haraye pujam ya shraddha ye hate na tad bhakteshu chanyeshu sabhakta prakrita smritaha. A person who is very faithfully engaged in the worship of the deity in the temple, but does not know how to behave toward devotees or people in general, is called a prakrita bhakta or kanishta adhikari. Therefore, in the temple, there must be the deity of the Lord, and the Lord should be worshipped by the devotees. This combination of the devotees and the deity creates a first class transcendental place. So Prabhupada is quoting this from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11. This is Maharaj Nimi, where the Nava Yogendras are giving knowledge to Maharaj Nimi. It's coming in that section. So, because Maharaj Nimi is asking him what are the types of devotees, so then he says there's the Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttama. So here, of course, the Kanishta is being described. Kanishta is one who's thinking only the deity is important and completely neglects the devotee. Both are important, the deity and the devotee. The deity is the Lord himself, and his devotee knows how to worship the Lord. And the Lord is in the heart of the devotee also. And the Lord is in the heart of every living entity. So every living entity must be given due respect. So this is what Kanishta Adhikari, because I'm thinking only the deity is important, whereas the devotees or the people in general are not important. Aside from this, if a Grahas devotee worships the Shalagram Shila or the form of the deity at home, his home also becomes a very great place. It was therefore customary for members of the three higher classes, namely the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas, to worship the Shalagram Shila or a small deity of Radha Krishna or Sita Ram in each and every home. This made everything auspicious. But now they have given up the deity worship. Men have become modernized and are consequently indulging in all sorts of sinful activities, and therefore they are extremely unhappy. So worship of Shalagram Shila, of course, need to have special permission to be able to worship Shalagram Shila. Need to be Brahman initiated and have permission. Also to worship Radha Krishna. It's very high standard. But it makes the home transcendental, makes the home auspicious. Everything auspicious here, Prabhupada is saying. He doesn't use the word transcendental, but he's using the word auspicious. You have a small temple in the house, makes the house auspicious. According to Vedic civilization, therefore, the holy places of pilgrimage are considered most sacred. And still there are hundreds and thousands of holy places like Jagannath Puri, Vrindavan, Hardwar, Rameshwar, Prayag, and Mathura. India is the place for worshipping or for cultivating spiritual life. The Krishna consciousness movement invites everyone from all over the world without discrimination as to caste or creed to come to its centers and cultivate spiritual life perfectly. Prabhupada is giving an open invitation to everyone to come to the temple and uh, begin spiritual life, advance in spiritual life, cultivate spirituality. Any questions, comments?
Hare Krishna, this last part is so, in context with what we read earlier today in Bhagavad Gita. Every soul is a great soul who is coming to worship Krishna and who is trying to, get the knowledge of the science of Krishna.
Yeah, yes.
So everyone should be respected at temples.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I have one question. Like
Mhm.
we are, like I am listening Vaishnav. So who is pure Vaishnav? Like just we read like any place, any ritual or any auspicious thing, if Vaishnav will be there or it's done by Vaishnav, then it is more like more resultant, we can say like that. So who is this Vaishnav? Who is Vaishnav?
So Lord Chaitanya was asked this question, who is a Vaishnav? So
Oh.
first he says that one who chants the holy name of the Lord even once is a Vaishnav. Then again the next year when the devotees came, again they asked Lord Chaitanya, who is a Vaishnav? Lord Chaitanya said, one who is regularly chanting the holy name of the Lord is a Vaishnav. Then the following year, again ask the same question, who is a Vaishnav? Lord Chaitanya says, by looking at one, just by seeing one, when one begins to chant Hare Krishna, that person is a Vaishnava. So, of course, Vaishnava is a very high standard, pure devotee of the Lord. Vaishnava is a pure devotee who is serving the Lord.
Okay. So somehow partially we are also Vaishnava.
We are trying to become devotees.
Yeah, but like Ansh, we have Ansh, like everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. So
Yes.
can we say like that, like we are also partially Vaishnava?
You
No?
see what? A Vaishnava, he's never going to say, I'm a Vaishnava.
Yeah,
He always
just
thinks himself as very low because of his humility. Being a Vaishnava is a very high standard.
high
Like
standard.
Prahlad
Okay.
Maharaj is a Vaishnava, Srila Prabhupada, Vaishnava. What we are trying to do is we are just trying now. We are sadhakas,
Okay.
practitioners.
Hmm.
Yeah. We are sadhakas. We are practicing. We are trying.
Hmm.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
I thought that those who worship Lord Vishnu,
Yeah.
Krishna, they are considered Vaishnava.
Yeah.
Devotees of, yeah, so it's like Vaishnava, isn't it?
Yeah. But as we are saying, those who are actually worshipping Lord Vishnu, being a Vaishnava is not an ordinary thing. Being a Vaishnava, we hear that how he's
You
so
don't say like, oh,
compassionate.
they are Vaishnava devotees, yeah, Vaishnava. So
Yeah.
because they worship Lord Krishna, they worship, yeah, Lord Vishnu.
Yeah. So actually one who's really a Vaishnava, he's going to be compassionate to every living entity in the whole world. He'll have really compassion, like a devotee of the highest standard is called a
Yeah.
Vaishnava. Yeah. So
Hare Krishna.
we can say we are sadhakas. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I think you're right. They are totally on the spiritual platform. They are not on the material platform. They are so absorbed in only serving the Lord,
Yeah.
only serving and they see Lord in everyone. They are compassionate towards everyone. They think of everyone's well-being. And
Yeah.
like you said earlier, just looking at them, we start to chant.
Yeah, that's what Lord
Yeah,
Chaitanya said. That
yes,
person.
yes. They are on spiritual platform. Just looking at them, you feel like you're just like in Vaikunt.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they are on the spiritual platform, not on the material platform at all. You can
Yeah.
actually feel it.
That's right.
Yeah.
So the pure devotee, the
Yeah.
pure devotee. We can call them Vaishnavas. Okay. Saramsi Pushkaradini
Charamsi Pushkarani Dini
Kshetrani Arhashritani Uta
Kshetrani Arhashritani Uta Kurukshetram Gaya Shira Kurukshetram Gaya Shira Prayaga Pulahashramaha Prayaga Pulahasramaha Naimisham Falgunam Setu Falgunam Setu Prabhasotha Kushasthali Prabhaso Kushasthali
Varanasi Madhupuri
Varanasi Madhupuri
Pampa Bindu Sarastatha
Pampa Bindu Sarastatha
Narayan Ashramonanda
Narayana Ashramonanda
Sita Ram Ashramayadayaha
Saramashramanidaya
Sarve Kula Chala Rajan
Sarve
Kula Chaharajan
Rajan
Mahendra Malayadaya
Mahendra
Mahendra Malayadaya
Malayadaya
Ete Punyattamadesha
Ete
Ete
Punyatamadesha
Punyatamadesha
Madesha
Harer Archa Shritaschaye
Hare
Archa
Archashtashtaye
Shritaschaye
Shritaschaye
Etan Deshan Nisheveta
Etan
Etan
Deshan
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 Nishveta
Nishveta
Nishya
Shreyas Kamo Hi Abhikshanashaha
Shreyas
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 Kamo
Kamo Hi
Kamohi
Abhikshanasaha
Dharmo Hi Atrehita Pumsam
Dharmo
Atrehita Pumsam
Ete Pumsam
Sahasradi Falodayaha.
Sahasradi
Sahasradi
Falodayaha
The sacred places like Pushkar and places where saintly persons live, like Kurukshetra, Gaya, Prayag, Pulaha Ashram, Naimisharanya, the banks of the Falgu River, Setu Banda, Prabhas, Dwarka, Varanasi, Mathura, Pampa, Bindu Sarovar, Badrikashram, Narayanashram, the places where the Nanda river flows, the places where Lord Ramachandra and Mother Sita took shelter, such as Chitrakoot, and also the hilly tracts of land known as Mahendra and Malaya. All of these are to be considered most pious and sacred. Similarly, places outside India, where they are centers of the Krishna consciousness movement, I'm sorry, and where other Krishna deities are worshipped, must all be visited and worshipped by those who want to be spiritually advanced. One who intends to advance in spiritual life may visit all these places and perform ritualistic ceremonies to get results 1,000 times better than the results of the same activities performed in any other place. In these verses and in verse 29, stress is given to one point, Harer Acha Shritas Chaye or Harer Archa. In other words, any place where the deity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is worshipped by devotees is most significant. The Krishna consciousness movement is giving the population of the entire world a chance to take advantage of Krishna consciousness through the ISKCON centers, where one may perform deity worship and chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and in this way obtain results with effectiveness increased 1,000 times. This constitutes the best welfare activity for human society. So here Narad Muni is saying that what are the sacred places? So he's saying all these places in India are sacred, and he's also saying where Radha Krishna deities are worshipped. So one should do whatever ceremonies one wants to do. Narad Muni is saying one should do at these sacred places to get 1,000 times more result. Because if it's done at home or any other place, the result will be there. But to get the maximum benefit, 1,000 times, do it in a temple of Krishna. So Prabhupada is saying that, the Krishna consciousness movement is gone. There are temples, there are centers all over the world. And people can take advantage of this facility that is being provided and perform hearing and chanting in the temple or even the rituals that they need to get the maximum benefit. This was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission as it was predicted by him in the Caitanya Bhagavat Antya Leela 4.126. Prithvi te ache yata nagradi gram sarvatra prachar hai be mora naam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted the Hare Krishna movement with installed deities to spread to every village and town in the world so that everyone in the world might take advantage of this movement and become all auspicious in spiritual life. So Prabhupada is saying this was Lord Chaitanya's prediction, no? is there in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Lord Chaitanya said, my name will be chanted in every town and village. And now we can see practically, that there are so many Krishna temples all over the world. So without spiritual life, nothing is auspicious. Mogha shamoga karmano, moga jnana vicheta saha. Bhagavad Gita 9.12. No one can become successful in fruitive activities or speculative knowledge without being Krishna conscious. As recommended in the Shastras, everyone should be very eagerly interested in taking part in the Krishna consciousness movement and understanding the value of spiritual life. So, here the highest welfare activity to make facilities for all of us so that we can hear and chant. So these facilities are provided to us by the Krishna consciousness movement. Any comments, questions?
Hare Krishna, Shilpa ji.
Hare
So
Krishna.
just one question. So that means that sometimes the deity's pran pratishtha is not done. So, but it is not mentioned here at all that is important or not, right? It is just that the deity is important, because in our houses, like if I have not done the pran pratishtha, right? But in the
But
temples it is done.
yeah, the temple
So that's
usually
why they are,
always the pran pratishtha would have been done,
yeah. So that's why they are. That's why Prabhupada is emphasizing, and it's emphasizing more for the temples, right?
That's right.
Because in the house we might not have pran pratishtha done.
That's right. And
Okay.
because the pran pratishtha is done by like a very pure devotee, he's inviting the Lord. He's inviting the Lord, and so the Lord, because it's invited by the pure devotee, he comes to reside in the deity.
Yes.
That's how he becomes non-different than the deity. That's why
Deity
the
becomes
temples are,
non-different than the Lord himself, right?
yeah, because he's invited there by the pure devotee to come and live there.
Yeah. Okay.
And the standards that are maintained in a temple will be very difficult to maintain those standards in the house.
Yes.
Because house, after all, it's a house.
Yeah, I agree.
So the standards will be different.
Yeah, I was thinking the same too. Said once you do the pran pratishtha temple, then there's lot of regulations to be followed.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's how it's said, because the Lord is living there in the temple. That's how it's become Vaikuntha and
Yes.
becomes auspicious. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why Prabhupada is recommending to go there.
Yeah.
That's why, because it becomes Vaikuntha, and then you are in Vaikuntha, and we feel that. We feel the difference.
That's right.
In association, when we go to temples, there are all devotees around, and it is so, so, so blissful there.
Yeah.
Even if you chant once,
Yeah.
there is a different feeling there.
That's right.
The dancing, the chanting, the clapping, even when you clap, it is a different feeling there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why Sankirtan, right? Temples we collect together, gather together to have Sankirtan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Like in temple, maybe some person where is really pure devotee. We don't know. And the positive vibes from him or her is like scattered everywhere. Like maybe we can get some particles from his or her position. So that's why, yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So it's really, I mean, like when you go to temple, you feel different from home. Like बोलता है ना सब लोग कि भगवान तो सब जगह है, हमारे दिल में भी है, मंदिर जाने की क्या जरूरत है? You can pray at home also. But when you go there and you feel, even it's crowded, but you feel some silence. Like कुछ अच्छा लगता है. ऐसे होता है ना,
Yeah.
इतनी भीड़ में भी एक मेंटल satisfaction or something very positive you feel there.
Bliss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the vibes are different, no?
Yeah,
Bliss.
vibes are very different. Yeah.
Yeah. You
Yes,
feel the
very,
bliss,
very
right?
bliss,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
You can feel the
Different.
bliss. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I heard in one lecture that when you go to temple, then people think and they see कि मैं भगवान को देख रहा हूँ, right? तुम देख के क्या करोगे भगवान को? It is more important that somehow Krishna glances at you. So don't push people. Like you know, sometimes how we push people और मुझे सबसे आगे जाना है.
Mhm.
So in this lecture it was mentioned that stand behind a pure devotee, क्योंकि कृष्णा अपने उस pure devotee को जरूर देखेंगे and somehow he will look at you. So it is important that Krishna's glance fall on you. That's why we are there. Definitely you're going to look at Krishna. Yes, you look, no problem. You can appreciate the beautiful outfits, the garlands he's wearing. Yes, no doubt. But the whole purpose is that he glances at you too,
Yeah.
and he will not glance ऐसे ही वो नहीं देखेंगे. So don't push out people and try to go in the front and stand there. No, it's of no use. Stand behind a pure devotee. So Krishna will definitely glance at him or her, and you will get the I mean, I just heard, so I just remembered this. Yeah.
Yeah. And coincidentally, I'm reading the same thing by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. You know, he said
Oh
we
wow. I
that we
think it
don't
was
have.
in Jaiva Dharma. I think Adi the Gadadhar Prabhu, when we were reading Jaiva Dharma with him, these all things were. I mean, I'm forgetting, but Adi Gadadhar Prabhu said this, but I'm forgetting that was it Jaiva Dharma or it was somewhere else. Yeah, sorry.
Mm. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is saying that where do we have the eyes to be able to see God, you know? But yeah, we go to the temple so the God can see us. We don't have the eyes. You know, we are not able to see God. We are seeing some material form. But when we go, then Krishna is seeing us. So we should go with that mood that Krishna will see me when I go to the temple.
Mm.
Yeah, there was one thing like this. I heard one lecture that one lady who was blind, but she used to go every day to a temple. Somebody
Yeah.
asked her that, you can't see also the deity. Why are you going? Why are you coming? Say, it's okay if I cannot see, but Krishna is looking at me. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
which is,
that's the mood.
yeah.
Because we have to change. We have this mood that I am the enjoyer, but we have to change that mood that Krishna is the enjoyer. I'm
Yeah.
the one, you know, I'm the servant. So, yeah, in that mood, we will be able to see the deity.
Mm.
Okay. So we'll stop here.
Yes.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta
Jai.
Vrinda ki jai. Hare
Jai.
Krishna, thank